Denise says, I'm not comfortable adjusting for square footage, condition, etc., since I'm not an appraiser. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you. I am not good at that either. And I would just be making it up.
There you go.
And yeah, and I wouldn't want to. So that's why, listen, I'll be honest with you, gang. I already told you, I'll say it again. As much as I love RPR is the bomb. I still, like, if I were in the field right now, I would use RPR, but not do that price range. So the first page that RPR report is, the first page says what the average listings are, and what the recommended price range of the price. Like, I wouldn't print that first page. I'd just get rid of that page. Because how I presented price to homeowners, because I'm like instinctively, like if you give me an address, bedrooms and baths, I'll tell you what the house is worth roughly. And my job as a marketing agent is to take that range, and depending now, if that home, now when I go look at that house, if the house needs work, then I'll go on the low side of the range. If the house is a cream puff and and it shows well, I'll go on the high end of the range, but it's still a range. And then I'll put it out, and depending on the homeowner's situation. If the homeowner has time, we'll go at the high end of the range. If the homeowner is like, listen, we're in contract, we're closing in 90 days, then I'll go on the low end of the high range. So it's all instinct. That's so I'm with you on that. I never gave the CMA and said, this is what you should list. I talked, I just showed comps, and I showed, this is how I did it. I haven't talked about this in a long time. So I haven't even done this on webinars. What I used to do, this is just lines and something I'm working on, but I shouldn't even show this because it has some of my personal stuff. What I did, you all know the MLS, the one line report where it lists the houses for sale, and it's in one line. Can you see that? It's in one line. I would show a homeowner, Mr. and Mrs. Hana, when we put it on MLS, these are all the current homes that are for sale. And what happens is when a buyer is looking to buy a house, they're going to look at this range here. This is where your house is. Now they're going to start at the lower end of the price, which is at the top of the list, and they're going to work their way down, because if they can save a few dollars, they will. So what we want to do is when we price our home, we want it, or if you did it the opposite, if it was high to low, we want to be as low to that number as possible, because the buyers are going to start at the lower end and work their way up on the list. So the higher you are on the list, the fewer buyers are going to get to your house. So we look at our comps and we look at our competition, and we decide from a marketing standpoint, where do we want to price our house? And so that's how I did price with homeowners. I told them a range, and then I coached them and brainstormed, and together we decided what is the list price going to be. So I don't know if that helped.
I like it. All right.
Yeah, I never got into the anal, because I'm not a appraiser either.
I do like your highlighter thing. Your job is to be a highlighter, make it jump off the page.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's the next part of that. So now my job, Mr. and Ms. Hahn, when you hire me as your marketing agent, is imagine all these lists. See, right now, when you're a for sale by owner, you're not even on the list. If you're not on the list as a FSBO, you're not even on the market. It's like when you go to a nightclub and people say, is your name on the list? You're not on the list, you don't get in. You need to get on the list. Now, but this is why you got to pick the right agent, because once you're on the list, see, my job, now you've got all this competition. I want you to imagine a yellow highlighter is to have your house pop off the list. That's the job of a marketing agent. That's my job, is to make your house pop. And here's how I do that. Here's how I highlight your home on the MLS. And then I go into the next broker's open house, public open house, and yard site, and all that other stuff.
Dang, and you even had a highlighter handy. I love it.
I listen, in the day of technology, I still love me a highlighter. Give me a list and I'll highlight it, and I'll accomplish a lot of things.